Tari warlords surrender firearms. Act Now calls for reports. And attack on crew ends up in strike. Good evening and thanks for joining us for Tuesday's news. Warlords in Hela province have been urged to surrender illegal firearms to stop tribal warfare among communities. Tari MP and Prime Minister James Marape led a contingent to the Tari capital for a gun surrender program yesterday. Political leaders appealed for unity and peace to allow government services to trickle down to communities.
In another effort to unite people and bring peace to the province, Prime Minister James Marape led a government delegation to commence another gun surrender program for the war-stricken province. Warlords around the Tari capital marched into town with their firearms. Hela Governor Philip Undialu says the province has suffered enough at the hands of tribal wars with payback killings almost every 3 months, many not reported. Undialu says those possessing firearms have been identified.
Throughout Hela, 63 man, you see that when they meet, Misalim talks away come. Get ready, mobilize, organize yourself. Now over the gun, Bunara, Tamyak, Wanasani, you say Yusum gun, and must come back to government.
Police Commissioner David Manning appealed to the people to surrender their weapons. He says it is the people who will change the province.
The same fire, you play use him no fight. The same fire, you must use him no down in fight, and come up in peace for Hela. Because you know, lo Hela, kissing back Hela for Hela. You need lo kissing back Hela for Papua New Guinea.
Alongside long defense force, me like Toksave or some, me play like total peace. That's why PNG Defense Force is here to stay.
The gun surrender program is a result of ongoing efforts by churches, Peace and Good Luck Committee, among others. A number of high-powered weapons was surrendered yesterday. According to locals, there are more weapons withheld by known warlords because of security reasons. But the governor says authorities will now beef up security going forward.
Government by providing security place in the presence of Prime Minister, Defense Commander, Police Commissioner, CIS, come on stop Logan, me assuring people to Hela state now, I'm coming inside lo stop on people. Security me play by providing. You don't need to provide security for you. Me play by sit down, clean him over the Hela. Going forward, in place for you.
Prime Minister and Tari MP James Marape says more work is needed to allow peace. He thanked local leaders and churches for their efforts to begin this surrender program.
The greater Hela is okay. 10% who run around with migrate guns who are migrating in and around Hela province. Another part of our islands provinces that has been giving bad signal that Hela is totally destroyed, but far from the truth. Hela people remains very, very good, loving, kind, sharing as they always are.
The next gun surrender program is expected next month. Jaglo Power Jr. National EMTV News.
Over 100 buses in Port Moresby stopped service today while the servicemen went on strike following an attack on a side buoy at Gordon's Unagi Oval. The bus crew claimed one of their own was stabbed by one of the youth in reflector vests. They want police action and the city government to explain what contracts these workers or youth were engaged under.
A convoy of PMV buses along the Pore-Porena Freeway. A show of solidarity, an expression of disappointment following the stabbing of one of their own. They all gathered at the Sir Hubert Murray Oval 2 at Connie to show their frustration.
Especially Logorens, all boys now morning 8 o'clock, incident come up one time, all bus crew, all NCDC clean up. Just because long bus crew kage boy na speeding boy or tokosem na without no one good reason our NCDC clean up team all staff all rausim knife that's all na all sudim backside blow bus crew.
Now one is something people like him low and all NCDC one time Pablo contract sub contract NCDC one all employee all lista magi lo campo logan em pamibla kona pamibla story all bakam all make wala gula to kam simply magi kam em all naib na Katim prara loan em all sim kamna. All bakan streetim good tok anda mi black sim magia golo police station na.
The bus crews that gathered wanted answers from the city government following presence of youths near the bus stop areas. The angered bus crew members say they will put forward their complaints to NCDC and for the commission to relook at contracts and the support being given to bus stop wardens and other interest groups.
So this work in place making in the country, in place making important work. Me place saving my transporting my school picnic, diploma savala disla. Na all work line staff liya mamas la masters na PhD degree University of Pennsylvania in place transfer more log. Work in this work country.
Passing in come up law now tasol. All get them passed up from Onianwa go Peninsula Gardens. Now Nala Basa route 2. Law Geru or 9 all get a pass route here. This is a system I'm stabbed. Now most of the time Mr. Lugumosem all wearing this la voice or this like science and dinner. Then contract on Simna on top of that also come Simani lo Miblo Bosurungan. Especially I talk Miblo Box you all was also. Now time Mibla less no pay. Now this like become Abia.
Majority of city residents use public transport and buses form an integral part of the makeup, servicing all major routes in the suburbs and settlements. Bradley Valenaki, National EMTV News.
The Madang Provincial Administrator and an RPNGC legal officer representing National Pandemic Controller David Manning appeared at the Madang District Court yesterday. Both parties were instructed by the court to explain the steps being taken to set up an isolation facility in Madang to deal with cases of persons testing positive for COVID-19.
The matter has been adjourned to the 24th of August 2021 after both parties appeared in court yesterday. One immediate concern raised is for both parties to fix the Jomba police station cell blocks. The parties are also expected to give an update of the quarantine cell on the 24th of August. They will also explain the steps taken to find a long-term solution for a quarantine facility at Yagam Lutheran Hospital. The Madang National Court received a complaint of an outbreak of COVID-19 by detainees at the Jomba Police Station lockup. On 3rd August, the court ordered the Madang Provincial Health Authority to conduct a further test on the detainees. The court order has 10 instructions. Order number 10 is for the Madang Provincial Administrator Clement Tari and the Controller David Manning or a representative to appear in court. Provincial Administrator Clement Tari and RPNGC Senior Legal Officer Superintendent John Saigom and Provincial Police Commander are now liaising to fix the Jomba cells. The court has also ordered both parties to set up a separate quarantine cell whilst planning for the long-term solution to the problem. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Madang.
Madang Governor Peter Yama says about 700,000 kina was used to renovate the Madang police station. He says the police station was given a facelift following its deteriorating status. Governor Yama says under its PSIP funding, the provincial government stepped in to ensure the Madang police station is improved and is conducive for use.
I renovated the entire police station rundown, 700,000. I've never at one time any food money from the member from Madang or anybody. I helped that place and I rebuilt it with the former provincial police commander. But this time, the people are sick in there and they all have virus. So maybe the judge is saying, oh well, okay, well you guys have to come and explain to me why is we don't have a containment center. There's no quarantine.
The newly appointed Managing Director for National Housing Corporation, Henry Mokono, said he will ensure NHC be given a complete overhaul. This follows the handover takeover ceremony between acting NHC Managing Director Elizabeth Bowada and Mr. Mokono last week. He said without hesitation that the entity has been tainted with so many chronic problems, including corruption over the years.
The National Housing Corporation in Port Moresby hosted a handover takeover ceremony of the NHC Managing Director last week, Wednesday. The ceremony was officiated by Housing Minister Justin Tachenko, who thanked the outgoing Acting Managing Director Elizabeth Bowada and welcomed newly appointed Henry Mokono. Minister Tachenko said the appointment of Mr. Mokono is the government's third attempt to have a permanent NHC Managing Director.
Now, this is no mistake of anybody. This is because the process in appointment of the Managing Director has let me down and the government down.
Ms. Elizabeth Bowada served the National Housing Corporation as a legal officer since 2006 until she got elevated to the role of acting MD in 2019. She said under her management, she addressed few of NHC's outstanding issues, including the illegal purchasing of land at Port Moresby's Durand Farm.
All the commercial blocks that were improperly and illegally sold, we pulled down the fence, we made it happen. A lot of commercial land have come back to NHC now.
Meanwhile, Minister Tachenko said NHC has a lot of outstanding legacy issues that Mr. Mokono will have to counter for the benefit of housing in PNG.
This is about getting everything done correctly from now on. This is about finally cleaning up National Housing Corporation and giving it a proper, good reputation that it deserves.
According to the NHC Managing Director, Henry Mokono, it will ensure NHC be given a complete overhaul, including an audit into NHC properties and discipline among the NHC officers.
So it needs a good cleanup. So we'll start from the bottom up. So brick by brick, we'll build this place up and improve the image and restore credibility and accountability, good governance. All these principles must be applied.
Julie Badui, Owa, National EMTV News, Ley.
With the August session of Parliament set to commence tomorrow, Community Advocacy Group Act Now is calling on the government to immediately publish the Auditor General's report on spending for the 2018 APEC Summit. Act Now campaign manager Eddie Tanago said the government has repeatedly promised that the APEC audit report will be made public, but it is now almost 3 years since the summit and the country is still waiting.
Act Now campaign manager Eddie Tanago said according to the Auditor General, his report was given to the Speaker of Parliament in April, but has yet to be presented to the members of Parliament.
We are calling on the government to publish the long overdue 2018 APEC expenditure report. The government reportedly promised to make the report public. It's been 3 years now since the APEC meeting was held, and we're still waiting. This is totally unacceptable. With the Parliament resuming this week, we are calling on the Speaker to table and make the report public.
In August 2020, Prime Minister James Marape promised the audit report would be published before the government tabled the annual budget in November that year.
It's exactly 12 months now, and nothing has happened. O'Neill's government was heavily criticized for spending lavishly on the summit, including buying 40 Maserati sports cars costing over 20 million kina of the taxpayers' money. As we speak, these vehicles are rotting away.
There were also wildly conflicting reports about the total amount of money spent by the government on the summit, which was promised to herald a new wave of inward investment in PNG. That has never materialized.
O'Neill claimed it would cost 800 million kina. The International Monetary Fund estimated and put the real value of hosting the APEC at 3 billion kina. There was also many reports on news that came out that monies meant for APEC have been misused and misspent.
Tanago stressed that the tsunami of corruption that is drowning the nation can only be addressed through greater transparency and public accountability.
Yet the government has reportedly promised to publish the audited report and hold the people accountable for corruption and mismanagement.
ACT Now is also reminding the government that it is yet to publish an audit report on its COVID-19 response spending. This is despite a promise from Prime Minister James Marape made in May 2020 that audit reports on the funding of COVID-19 operations would be made public. Shamit Boreambeb, National EMTV News.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Welcome back. The anticipated August sitting of Parliament did not eventuate today at 2 p.m. as planned. The Parliament sitting was adjourned by the Speaker Job Pomat due to lack of quorum. The Speaker entered the chamber to find only 2 MPs present. He immediately adjourned the sitting as it was already way past 2 p.m. The Speaker adjourned the sitting to 10 a.m. tomorrow. Papua New Guinea is known for its unique culture and is one of the last frontiers that still practices its culture. Today, the PNG Tourism and Promotion Authority presented a cheque of 150,000 kina to host the 65th Goroka Show. Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, E.C. Leonard, says hosting such shows is important for the younger generation to participate and learn. The 2021 Goroka Show is set for September 17th to the 19th.
The 2021 Goroka Show is set for September under the theme Save Our Planet, Save Our Future. Last year, the annual event was affected due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The cheque presentation today will boost the staging of the Goroka Show. Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture E.C. Leonard says with the COVID-19 restrictions and foreign interest to tourism being shut completely, it is time to promote the show domestically.
We will now have to engineer differently. We will now have to take control of tourism in the way it should be done. And I think it's a blessing in disguise in a way that now responsibility of organizing, arranging, packaging, and even distribution of benefit that will come in will now be done ourselves.
Chairlady for Goroka Show, Karen Hargreaves, says culture are people's identity and people must understand it. She says Goroka Show is one way of preserving the culture.
And in this modern age, we are losing our cultural identity, and it is sad because we see it at the show in terms of the traditional dress and all that. More of the Western influence is coming into it. So that's an indication of where we are going. If we don't do something about it now, we will lose that.
Hargreaves says the show will also be educational for people from other parts of the country.
So it's an education for them as well, for the children as well. From Rabaul or from Milne Bay or, from Tari, the huli dancers, Saro Mudman, everybody. Sometimes they don't get to travel to see the other cultures, so they see it all under one roof at the Goroka Show, and that's what we're proud of.
Meanwhile, member for Goroka Aye Tambua says the show will support the local markets.
Is that the people of Goroka really need the show because our local economy, the small mothers, the small young kids, the mothers who are doing the balloon, they're selling the balloon, we need the show to revive the small economy there, the small SME. These people really need the show.
Podivai, National EMTV News.
The Education Department will be introducing early childhood learning starting in Port Moresby. This will see the inclusion of children as young as 4 years old who will attend kindergarten.
The implementation phase, according to the Education Department, is expected to kick off in the 2022 academic year.
What's going to happen is we are going to do away with the elementary, the preparatory, and E1 and E2. We are going to do away with that. The E1 will now go back to primary and as well as E2, and we will only keep the preparatory as preschool.
This will see the inclusion of 4 and 5-year-olds who will be attending kindergarten, preschool or daycare.
We have recognized the importance of foundation learning because it is at this age, the 1,000 days from conception to 8 years, that they learn so fast. They learn about just anything adults do.
In 2020, the NEC approved the Early Childhood Learning Policy for implementation. This came after the Education Department saw the importance of early childhood learning for children from 3 to 5 years old.
On this juncture, I also want to invite Bukbla Pikini to work in collaboration with the department. As of next year, we are also introducing the ages 4 and 5 in the school system.
Currently, there is no early learning education provided by the PNG government. However, private-run schools, including Book Belong Pikinini, provide this service. Thus, the Education Department is working closely with Book Belong Pikinini to introduce early childhood learning in public schools.
The parents out there, foundation years are important. Once you set that foundation for learning at an earlier in their learning journey, whatever is taught to them, whatever they learn, sticks with them all the way through to high school, secondary school, even to university. So foundation is important. That's what Book Belong Pikinini is doing. We're contributing from our end what we can for the children of PNG.
Thekla Gunga, National EMTV News. 26 students at Gaubin Community Health Workers Training School on Karkar Island graduated with certificates on Sunday. The graduation was held after 10 years of not hosting a graduation ceremony due to several issues affecting the school's operation. The students graduated after receiving competency-based training in community health work.
This small yet significant ceremony witnessed by parents and community saw the students graduate with certificates. This group of students was supposed to complete a 2-year program, but due to COVID-19, they went over by some months. The students came as far as Minyama district in Morobe province to be trained as community health workers under the revised competency-based training program.
As time passes, the curriculum was reviewed and changed to trade C status. The curriculum is now a competency and clinical oriented program that started in the years 2005 to 2006, and which this group is the number 10 passing out on this competency-based program. Government's USW campus has the student ceiling of 108. The 26 out of 108 are now passing out with the remaining of 82 students, first and second years.
Gaubin CHW Training School is an old institution that was established to support Gaubin Lutheran Hospital. The program also brought to light the deteriorating state of the facilities and the need for more government support. Bogia District, under its tertiary scholarship program, sponsored 14 of its students to undertake training at the school. 2 of them graduated on Sunday. The district plans to send more students to the institution and is looking to sign an MOA with the school. Local MP Robert Nagori says this partnership would be a way his electorate would support the institution.
Especially the community health and training college. The only way we give him support will be by sponsoring kids to this college. Mega tertiary students scholarship program. Dini belum come up. Mi pelaga 3 local level government council from district. Local mana mo kali biabu. Local line belum lo ramu na lo mountain lo kali biawar. Now online joining new plan of border Bosumka or Kolib Almami. Or beginning mana we give more 3,000 kina no 1 year local tertiary institutions. Or beginning Yawar na Yabu we have no 2,000 kina taswa. Local tertiary institutions. That's all beginning from community help of the training college and full school fees me by.
Student rep Enos Wakamas, who benefited under the district treasury, the program acknowledged Bogia DDA for supporting human resource of Bogia.
I have a great honor and I want to give a word of thanks.
Mathaluis National EMTV News, Medeng.
35 soldiers are currently undergoing a course that will qualify them to be sergeants. Senior instructor Lieutenant Daniel Kakawi said it will not only qualify them, but prepare them for events like the upcoming national general elections. The participants serve in the northern units in East Sepik, Manus and Ley.
Just after midday yesterday, these soldiers were inserted into this location, the Ser Ignatius Kilage Outdoor Stadium in Ley. They were tasked to clear out threats in the building, assist wounded men, locate a person of interest, and protect vital assets. This was a scenario in a series of exercises that these men are currently undergoing in the PNGDF Sergeant Qualifying Course.
Basically to qualify our sergeants to the rank of sergeants and our senior corporals to the rank of sergeants.
Last week, these men underwent other exercises in a rural setting at Situmin Nawab district. They are from the northern units, serving in Ley, Manus and Wiwek. While it is a course that will qualify them to be sergeants, it is also training in preparation for the national general elections.
Most of these sergeants, they'll be deployed in elections next year. So that's why we put the scenario to be purposely building up to that national elections next year.
They've also partnered with police, the disaster office and the St. John ambulance team to assist in the scenarios.
To understand how we operate with our other government agencies.
While this phase of the exercise will continue and end this week, the course will continue till September. Lucy Kopana, National EMTV News, Ley.
And now looking at the NASFund market report, the Kina closed unchanged at $0.2850 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your Kina will buy $0.2775 $0.3743 Australian dollars, $0.2283 euro, and 29.98 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold is trading higher. Coffee and cocoa closed higher, copper closed lower. Palm oil and copper closed lower, crude oil is trading higher. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 106.66 points lower. The ASX 200 is trading at 21.69 points higher, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 24.72 points higher. Chukai Sports is next, all the details after the break.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The National Soccer League Southern Conference leaders Hekari United showed their experience and class as they comfortably won 4-0 against newcomers to the NSL, Southern Youth FC.
Hekari United handed Southern Youth FC a footballing lesson over the weekend with a 4-0 win over the youngsters. Hekari's Nigel Dabinyaba scored a hat-trick of goals to help his side maintain the top position in the Southern Conference. The PNG rep scored twice in the first half, with his third goal coming in the second half, giving Hekari a comfortable lead. Before replacement striker Joseph Joe scored United's fourth goal to put the final result beyond any doubt.
Firstly, I want to congratulate Hekari for a good game today. We really prepared well, even though we are developing to PNGFA. We have been working hard to play them, but they were the better side. Our pass and technique was not right, but they were better side, they scored. But all in all, our boys did very well.
With a wealth of experience on the field, Hekari had too much class for their younger opponents, with United's short passing able to find gaps in the Southern Youth defense. The majority of Hekari's attacking plays went down the flanks, where Dabinyaba was able to use his speed and close ball control to his advantage. To their credit, Southern Youth FC worked hard throughout the 90 minutes, showing some promise in their attacking plays. but it wasn't enough to overcome conference leaders Hekari United, who won the match 4-0.
They just came, there wasn't any development team, youth development team, but just because of this PNGFA introduced a youth development team. Very good initiative for the boys, giving chances for them to play at this level. So nice seeing these young boys playing. It's just so many things to do, but I'm taking the order of priorities, right, which plenty of things to do, but I'm just taking one thing at a time. We are doing very well, and I see maybe there are things that I've done other parts already. Maybe now I'm just looking at so much of finishing and so much of good passes, accuracy. I think ball control is getting better now, and just looking forward for the next game again.
Huxley Lovai, Chukai Sports.
The Rigo District Netball Tournament hosted in Gomorrah Village began yesterday. The annually held competition has attracted more than 50 villagers in Rigo who have come together to compete for the Vites Cup. The tournament is scheduled to end on Friday.
54 participating teams arrived on Sunday at Gomorrah Village to ignite the annual Rigo District Netball Tournament. With an overwhelming number of teams showing interest, the competition has been divided into Junior Division, Senior Class, which covers A and B grade, and the Masters Division.
This tournament is mainly for Rigo District. So all these teams are participating here from the Rigo District, across Rigo District, from Rigo Coast, Rigo Central, Rigo Inland.
Major sponsor of the competition, Vitis Industry, made a huge boost with 15,000 kina to host the tournament. Rigo Netball Association President and Games Coordinator Yamo Launa says the tournament will also be used as an avenue to select the Rigo District squad, which will compete at the provincial tournament leading to the Netball Championships.
This is an annual tournament, and we normally select our teams to participate at the National Championships. And this year we will be also selecting our Rigo District team to participate at the Central Province tournament.
The annual event was last held in Carlo Village in Rigo Coast. As a member of the PNG Netball Federation, the Rigo District Netball Tournament is a sanctioned competition.
We are also affiliated members of the PNG Netball Federation. So the games that we are playing now is sanctioned. Also, we have applied with the COVID protocols, return to sports protocols. Netball Federation has given us a green light to go ahead.
Suli, Chukai Sports.
Chukai Sports continues with more after these short messages. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. Papua New Guinea Surfing Association has achieved another milestone with its surf management plans, this time in Bougainville, particularly the Pok Island and villages of mainland Arawa and central Bougainville. Here's Kilawani with more.
The Surfing Association of Papua New Guinea has achieved another significant milestone with the historic signing of Surf Management Plan Agreement with the chiefs and traditional resource custodians of Pok Island and villages mainland of Arawa, central Bougainville area. Called the Pirung Surf Management Plan, groundworks leading up to the signing started in 2017 with the donation of 50 surfboards. The Pirung SMP covers a 10-kilometer radius, an agreement warmly welcomed by Pok Island Chief Peter Garuai, Chairlady of Central Bougainville Ms. Laurel Pentanu as signatories, and Arab Speaker Honorable Simon Pentanu. Bougainville now joins 6 other provinces, including West Sepik, New Island and Milne Bay, in the development and promotion of surfing and surf tourism. President of SAPNG Andrew Abel stated the key to opening up new tourism destinations and growing the tourism sector, in line with PM Marape's Take Back PNG policies, is to interface and work directly in partnership with traditional resource custodians, as they are the gatekeepers of the resources. The PNG Surfing Association now has 11 affiliated surf clubs and 7 surf management plans established around Papua New Guinea and now in central Bougainville. Kilawani, Trukai Sports.
And then in Trukai Sports, the weather report up next.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
A look at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region only. Mostly fine weather in Port Moresby and a few showers, then partly cloudy in Popondetta.
The weather update was proudly brought to you by MoneyPlus, with you always.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for today, Tuesday, the 10th of August, 2021. Until next time, pleasant viewing, be safe and good night.